Hi, it's post-editing Matty here. Before we get into the actual video, I just have to make something clear. In the first quest, there's no game volume, because I realised, post-editing, when I turned the game volume back on, that I'd left the microphone on while recording, so you heard not only my nonsensical ramblings, but also someone else's YouTube video. That's what I do when I record. I have YouTube on as radio, but it would ruin the viewing experience, everybody, and it's not my content, so I took it out. No game volume. However, for the second quest, there is game volume. Please enjoy. Breaking. World's whitest man exposed to temperatures greater than 20 degrees. It's like the hottest day ever in the UK, and while recording this video, or struggling to record this video, rather, you're gonna have to deal with me drinking an entire jug of refrigerated water, my precious, that I cooled last night in the refrigerator, and now I'm looking into it, I can see some dirt molecules at the bottom, because my mother uses this as a vase, so cheers. But yeah, if you don't know, British people, there's about a 2-degree window where we're happy, and the rest is either too hot or too cold. Like, anything below 15 degrees is just too cold. We don't like it. And anything above, like, 18 is just unacceptably hot. Like, that's holiday hot, and we don't like it. It's 34 right now in the sweatbox, otherwise known as my bedroom, and I'm dying. So if you can't deal with me sustaining myself during this video, then you can deal with it, because it's gonna happen. Immortal Hulk, that's not what the video's about, by the way, if you forgot. He's probably the most confusing champion I've made a showcase about so far on this channel, because I don't understand what the point of him is. I don't get it. So in today's video, we're going to show him in some act content and talk about what he could possibly be for. Because when we think about champions in this game, God, it's hot. We think of them as designed to hit some sort of target. Every champion in this game, or most champions in this game, they're designed to do a thing. Either they're burst champions, they're nukes for battlegrounds, or they're for long-form content, or they're defenders, or they're a hard counter to a certain champion or node. Immortal Hulk seems to be the exception for that. I genuinely cannot get a handle on what this guy is aimed at, what he's made for, designed for. I don't really get it, other than him just being around for fun. Oh, talking of fun, that is not how I would describe this weather. I literally just got out of the shower as well, and I'm already sticky. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I shouldn't. Deep breaths, otherwise I'm going to keep sweating, and I don't. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Come to daddy. I need more water. Come to daddy. Yes. Beautiful. Oh, that's nice and cool. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Right. Immortal Hulk, though. Immortal Hulk. Yeah, let's stay focused. Head in the game. Okay. Let's think about the places that we could possibly take Immortal Hulk. Could we take Immortal Hulk into battlegrounds? No, probably not, because if you get your loop wrong, you end up decimating your own health bar before you finish the fight. In order to maximize your score in battlegrounds, you need a full yellow bar. That's just not gonna happen with Immortal Hulk, unless you time your immortality regen just right. The maximum score you're gonna get is like 40,000 points, because you end things in like 10 seconds, but you have no health, which is weird. Could you put him on defense? Well, he has an enormous health pool, and when he dies, he goes immortal for a period of time and then regenerates. That's quite substantial. Might that be a threat? No, because any sort of DOT isn't consumed by his gamma rays. You can see that underneath his health bar, which means that basically any champion with strong DOT or red burst damage is just going to get through him immediately and bypass his immortality. So that's not going to work. I tried placing him on defense. I thought I'd do something different. And my opponent just flipped Nick Fury and said, all right, f you, and did 51,000 points. So that's not going to happen. Could you take him into long form? Well, no, because if you don't know how a fight with Immortal Hulk technically, or typically goes, rather, you drain your first health bar, and then you regenerate back up to 100%, and then you very quickly go back down to 0%, and if the fight isn't over by the time you finish your last, like, wombo combo at 0%, you're in deep shit. You're in deep shit because then, like, a single love tap, one blocked hit, a single piece of DOT, one missed dex, one missed intercept, you get hit with an SB1 or an SB2 or any special attack, you're dead. Any piece of damage will kill you because you are at 1% health, which is so stressful that I need more water. I need sustenance in order to think about that for any meaningful length of time. So that's not going to work because long-form fights are just going to stay standing for too long. You want the fights to be over very, very quickly. Could you take him into Act content, like here? This is in Act 9, by the way, and the second quest is also going to be in Act 9. Yes, you can, but with varying degrees of success. You see there, I had to skip the Mole Man because he physically does not have a way of going through that fight. He would just purify all my debuffs. I wouldn't be able to get a wombo combo going. I would just drain my health and I just wouldn't be able to end the fight. Now, this lane was boosted by Power Shield. Yeah, it does boost his damage output quite considerably. But the really confusing thing about Immortal Hulk is that it's easy to think of him as fragile and difficult to play and difficult to use in any sort of actual content. And then he does something impressive. That's what's really weird for me, is that he's rubbish and then does something that very few other champions can do. This long shot here has 1.2 million health. He has a stupid amount of health. And Immortal Hulk is going to take it down in 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Hang on, I just need... I'm getting a headache. Oh, for fuck's sake, bro. God made the heavens of the earth where he didn't do it very well. Christ. Right. He then does something stupidly impressive. Long shot here. This is an objectively difficult fight, by the way. And here we were quite lucky that he went for that parry. But yeah, very few champions can do this respectably and quickly. However, Immortal Hulk just rips it to shreds. Down. Those red bursts are dealing like 60,000 damage plus. 45 seconds, like I said. That's ridiculous, and very few other champions can do that. Immortal Hulk can, and yet I still don't know what he's for. You're going to have to deal with me here. I completely cocked the first fight of this quest, and I restarted. Apologies. Right, so while recording this, I tried a couple synergy teams to make him more viable. The first synergy team I used, I should stop gesticulating. So I'm literally losing energy, like, while recording this. It's very difficult to keep the energy up. Like, when you present videos, like, the Matty MCOC I present to you is very much a caricature, just an exaggerated version of myself. And it's very difficult to keep that up for any meaningful amount of time when just gesticulating and talking loudly makes me sweat. It's shit. Doing this. I need more water. I come to daddy. I need more water. Oh, God. The first synergy team I used gave him increased ability accuracy with Hawkeye and Quake. So what I was supposed to do is combat the unreliability of the SP1 stun. So what can happen in some fights is you get caught short, you don't have enough to chuck off an SP2, and you chuck off an SP1 instead. Now the SP2 has a 100% chance to land a stun debuff. However, the SP1 is like 60%. So you want more ability accuracy because you don't want your wombo combo getting ended quickly by you just not having the ability accuracy, and then they throw an SB3 and you get nuked and it's horrible. The second team, however, I think is probably more viable. It's straight up just packed full of combat power rate synergies. It's just romance synergies all the way. And honestly, I think this is slightly more viable. I think if Kabam gave him like some sort of like energize based on missing health, that would be really interesting, because it might just end in stunlock. It might just end in perma stunlock, where he just deals hundreds of thousands of damage per second, and the opponent can do nothing because it's perma stunlocked as 1% health. Which would be interesting. Might be a bit broken, but for this team, it seems to be working. However, you do need to carry quite a lot of luggage with you. Something else worth mentioning as well is the length of those stun debuffs, right? You really need to maximize them in order to get off your wombo combo, right? So the SB2, you can throw double medium, and then a full 5-hit combo. On the SB1, if it lands the stun, you can do a double medium and then a full 5-hit combo. In, like, PvP content, any PvP content, the opponent is going to be running at least 1 point in Limber. If your opponent runs 1 point in Limber, you will not be able to land your wombo combo. You will have to reduce the number of hits you do. The SB1 will just be a full 5-hit combo chain from the stun. The SB2 will be double medium and then a 5-hit combo. You lose the damage. Here, I'm going to have to quit out again. I'm going to have to end the recording and then cut the fight. Because, again, there are just fights that he can't do, which is really strange. And I just don't know what his target is. What are you aimed at? Reveal to me your secrets, weird Hulk. I need water. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. Deep breaths. Reveal to me your secrets, because other than just having a blast, I have no idea what this guy's for. And there's nothing wrong with having a blast. Right? There's nothing wrong with a champion that's just designed for you to muck around with. But in a game that's becoming increasingly, less every day about fun and more about doing things very well, a champion like Immortal Hulk kind of just left in the scrap heap, which is what's happened, right? Does anybody really, like, religiously run iHulk as like a day-to-day champion? I'm sure they do for like side quests and stuff, but if they need to tackle anything serious, like, has anybody actually been assigned an Immortal Hulk fight in top tier Alliance War? Is that a champion that anybody has used like a single time? Now the water's going back to bite me. I don't think they have. Like, he's just never been used for anything practical, and that's strange. He's just a very strange character to me. Now, we are going to finish out this path. This path, remember, unaided by Power Shield. I want to show that he doesn't need that boost to do like several 100,000 damage, close to 1 million damage in a fight. He can do it at the 7-star rank 3 level. But I am going to show the boss fight here, and I went into this boss fight knowing I was going to die. I'm just going to show you like my problem here. This is just probably the perfect example of the problem I have. This Silver Centurion, when I hit him, I'm going to have small shock debuffs applied to me. So tiny DOT. And yet that's enough to kill me. When you play Immortal Hulk, you are always just on a knife edge between life and getting f***ed over. All the time. Like, there is no in-between. You're never comfortable while playing Immortal Hulk. It's high risk, high reward champion, and no champion in the game does it better. Right, and against the Silver Centurion, you're going to see here, I'm going to go Immortal. First things first, I'm going to go Unblockable, which is nice. And when my immortality ends, actually, I go Invulnerable, which is an interesting ability. You can't be touched, you can't take damage, and you regenerate, which is interesting. I use it sometimes to get openings, which is quite fun. But you can see here, these tiny shock debuffs, they're not even bigger than my willpower. But eventually they stack up, and thanks to me damaging myself, I take myself down to 1% thanks to my own recoil, and you're going to see that in the middle of this SB2, we're going to do 1, 2, and I cop it. Yeah, we took down 600,000 health in 36 seconds. That's very impressive. But it doesn't matter if you're dead, right? If you die before your opponent dies, you lose the fight. So what's the point? That's the thesis of this video. What's the point? He's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I took him to rank 3. I took him to rank 3 because I have spare T6CC. Right, I know there'll be some people in the comments going, "Oh, you don't know how to have fun. These sweaty..." Shut up. Right? I know that he's fun, but he's a very strange character to me. And that's all I've got for you today. So if you have made it this far, then congratulations. You have an attention span greater than that of a goldfish, and you've suffered through my insufferable drinking. If you have been struck by hot weather recently, then my condolences. I will never be the same again after recording this video. And go away.